Make sure I record this. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are, maybe good evening, depending on where you are. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Deja. Let me make sure this audio, like, this is, let's see. Okay, I'll do this. All right, here we go. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Deja. We're just gonna jump into it. So on Monday mornings, this is actually a training session more than trading, but if we catch a couple things, we can take them. All right, real quick, let me just log into my broker. Make sure I don't miss anything. I don't know if anyone took those trades at the top of the hour just now. Those wicks were, I don't know what that was. I mean, that was, I didn't like it at all. And the market's still like a little bit unstable because of it. Really weird stuff. I was like, oh my God. Because I took it. Let me show you. I noticed Japan was ready to make a reversal because I saw that this was down here, I want to say. Yeah, we were here, and I was like, okay, this is gonna come up. And then I looked at EJ and I noticed that EJ was right in this range. And so then I was like, okay, that means AJ and DJ are probably gonna come up. Now look what happened. So we were all the way up here, and I was like, oh, I'll take AJ right here because if Japan's gonna reverse, then it's gonna just come up from here anyways. It spiked super high last second, and I was like, what the heck? And it put me in up here. And then it spiked all the way down here. And I was like, okay. I tried to take another entry right here, and it didn't take me until like here. And I was like, all right. I also took UJ, but UJ, it gave it to me like here, 299. So that one cleared really nicely. But I mean, it jumped all the way up and then it started making its way down. I didn't like how that market moved at all. So we might, it might take a minute. If we do jump in anything, it's going to take a minute until I see the market's more stable because every single pair, look at that, every single pair that 12 o'clock hour just kind of wicked out of nowhere. Like it was, this is crazy. I I actually have not seen it like that. I've seen it where it happens on one pair, but not every single pair at the same time. Look at this. Ended on a doji. Yeah, the market, I don't know what's going on. And it's a bank holiday for two places, so that might be it too. Um, but we're going to jump right into it. So today's going to be more of a training. And I'm going to jump into some stuff other than just the strategy today. I actually want to start off with risk management and profit management, as well as compounding. So people that have been, listening in for a while, you've probably heard me go over profit management before. Profit management is not compounding, and profit management is not risk management. It's its own separate thing. It's protecting the money that you already made in that particular session. All right. So go ahead and get some notebooks out. Actually, on Mondays, I would recommend just having notebooks out. I'm going to go over a training, and so it's something that you want to retain. I'm going to give you guys a minute, and I'm going to repeat myself. All right. So let me know when you're ready, when you got a notepad or piece of paper, or you got notepad app open or something, so you can type this out. Just go ahead and put a two. Put a two in the chat for me once you're ready, and I'll get into it.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay, you're not on a phone call? Oh, I am, but what's up? Morning.
Let me,
Morning.
buddy. I want to make sure everyone remembers, just try to stay muted just to make sure that everyone's able to hear clearly. Um, let me see. Dang, only one person's got the notepad ready. That's crazy. Let me know, y'all. Let me know once you got it. Put a two in the chat so I know. Ready? There we go. There we go. For sure. For sure. All right, let's get it. So the three things we're going to go over first, and then we'll go over, if we have time, we'll go over the strategy and maybe catch a trade or two. But it's compounding, and then it's risk management, and then it's profit management. All right. So let me just go to an open area, go up here. And I'll type it out with you. Compounding. I can't type. And profit. All right. So these are the three things. So first, let's go over compounding. All right. And I'm gonna do this even if you know what compounding is. I'm still gonna treat it as if no one knows. All right. Just to make sure. You never know if someone's brand new. And I know that, when I was new, I would have loved it if someone could break it down really nice. All right. So compounding is how you grow your account. Okay. Compounding is how you grow your account. I like to think of it as compounding is the actual steps to go from where you are to where you want to be financially, okay? In terms of making money, right? So it's active income. It's a form of active income, all right? Understand, trading is active income. I have to physically press the buttons. I have to physically press buy, press sell. I have to see the strategy, right? And so it is active income. It's just quick. It's much quicker than a 9 to 5, right? But if I don't enter a trade, I'm not gonna be able to profit. All right. So where you can go, oh my goodness, can I type today? Where you can go to figure out, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. It's called compounddaily.org. You could put /calculator. All right. Compounddaily.org /calculator. Now, how this works is you are going to see these 5 slots that you can fill in. All right. So you have initial purchase amount, daily interest rate and percentage, length of term in days, daily reinvest rate, and include weekends. All right. First and foremost, I'm going to let you know, odds are include weekends, this bottom one, it's going to be irrelevant. We don't use this website to time out the days necessarily. It takes a lot more work to do that. It's more so just to give you a visual for the numbers that you want to see. Okay. So include weekends. You can have it on yes or no. It's really, really up to you. And I'll show you why it's harder to try to include weekends or not. Like if you actually care. All right. Now, initial purchase amount is actually, right? So you can put initial purchase amount equals your deposit amount or how much your broker is letting you trade with. So let's say I deposited 500 and the broker took $4 of a fee. My initial purchase amount is going to be $496. Okay. Let's say that I deposited 250 and I took the deposit bonus. Okay. Then my account or my initial purchase amount, it's going to say maybe 762. I don't know, whatever amount they give you. But basically, it's on that top right-hand side of the broker. What amount do they give? Okay. That is your initial purchase amount. Now, your daily interest rate and percentage, you can look at it as daily interest, or you can look at it as session interest. Okay. This is your profit percentage. In this company, we don't teach go for X amount of money a day. We teach go for X amount of percent a day. All right. And so if you're going for a certain amount of percent, let's say that we go for 6%, okay? Or let's say that we go for 9%, right? I'm saying 9% a day or 9% a session, okay? Now, I like to recommend you can range anywhere between 5 and 12% in compound percentage. Lowest would be 5. Of course, if you want to go lower, that's fine. Highest would be 12. And I don't even like to say 12 to people. I think 12% is pushing it. Okay. It's a little bit too aggressive on the market. If you're too aggressive, the market can very easily kill you because the more trades that you take, the more likely that you are to lose. All right. What I mean by that, because some people don't understand, why is it that you're more likely to lose if you take more trades? Think of it like this. If I take one trade and I win one trade, that's all I need to do to be 100% accurate. If I take 2 trades and I want to be 100% accurate, I need to win 2 trades. If I take 20 trades and I want to be 100% accurate, I have to win all 20 trades. It's harder to do that. The more trades that you take, the more likely that your accuracy percentage is going to be lower. That's just how it works. Okay? So, daily interest rate, you know, 5 to 12%. Now, I don't like to say 12% because if you're going for 12%, then you have to take more trades. Okay? It's just too aggressive in the market. 5% is if you're taking it easy. You can literally make 5% in 2 trades. You can go 2-0 every single day and make 5%. Compound your account very nicely. It's just going to take a little bit longer. All right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all personal preference. So let's say for this example, we go for 7% a day. All right? And let's say my initial purchase amount, let's say I have a $500 account. Length of term in days, you can say days or you can say sessions. All right? Anywhere that it says day, like, well, I can't even say that because daily reinvest rate, it's always going to be 100%. But length of term in days is also in sessions, okay? Because you can trade once a day, okay? Or you can go for 7% a day. Like I let's say that I go into Millie session, Evan session, and then my session, and I want to make 7% across all 3 sessions. So not 21%, but 7%. So maybe I made 3% in the morning, 2% in Maddie's session, 1 or 2% in my session, right? That adds up to 7%. So you can separate it that way, or you can say 7% per session. I want to make 7% in the morning. I want to make 7% in the evening, and I want to 7% at night, right? Now that's going to be 21% a day. That's very aggressive. And that goes into, what I like to say. If you're going for compounding per session, then maybe 5% a session is for you. Because then you're at 15% a day, which is still very, very good. And odds are you're not going to hit 5% every single session, every single day. Okay. But if you were to do that, and it was 15%, then even in a matter of 10 days, you can double your account. Okay. So it's really good to know. It's good to know that if you're going for per session, you want to go for smaller percentages. All right. Now, length of term in days, like I said, it could be days or sessions. Let's say that we're doing it for 30 days. So since I have 7%, I'm going for 30 days, right? And your daily reinvest rate is always going to be 100. Okay. It's always going to be 100. And I'll explain why. At least for my compounding strategy, it's always 100. So 30 days from 500 will turn me into almost 4K, right? 3806, which means I would have made $3,300 over 30-day period. Now, understand, a 30-day period is not 1 month. It's actually going to be about 5 to 6 weeks, okay? So a 30-day period is not 1 month. It's actually about 5 to 6 weeks. The reason being is because typically you can trade Sundays. A lot of people don't like to trade Mondays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is where it's at, and maybe you'll catch Friday, right? And so if I trade Sunday, that's 1 day, and then I skip Monday and I trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's 4 days. A lot of people don't even like to trade Friday, so that's 4 days a week. So if you got 4 days a week, but you want to do 30 days, that's actually not going to be, right? That's actually not going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be about 6 weeks, actually, closer to 6 weeks. Okay? So just understand that, and keep that in mind. Now, if you add like a Monday or a Friday session, which I would recommend a Friday session over a Monday session, okay, then yeah, it's still going to be the same thing, about 5 to 6 weeks. All right. And all this is considering that you have a perfect 30 days. And what are the odds of that? Even the top educators don't have perfect days, right? And so that expands it a little bit more too. So I'm saying this not to say, oh, don't think that you're going to make money. No, you're going to make money. It's showing you right here. 1 day you're going to make 35. 1 day you're going to make 135. By the end, you'll be making 250 a day. but it just won't happen in 30 days particularly. And that's okay. There's not a rush, and there's actually something bad, in my opinion, psychologically, that happens if you make too much too fast, because you can only make what you're mentally prepared to make. And this is financial spirituality, financial psychology. It's outside of trading, it's just finances in general. That's why if you were to give a homeless individual $15,000, you got to ask yourself, what are they going to do with that? They probably won't make the best financial decisions, right? Do you think that if you gave a homeless individual, someone who has a net worth of, nothing essentially, if you gave them $15,000, are they going to take that and be like, let me put $5,000 in Bitcoin, let me cover 2 months of rent plus deposit, and let me pay the bills so that I can get a stable job and continue to turn that into more? Do you think they're going to do that? Odds are no. Okay, it's because it's a psychological thing. You're only going to get as much as you can handle. All right. So let's say that you're going from working a minimum wage job, and let's say you start, all of a sudden you turn a $500 investment into $25,000 in a month. You would have done that by over leveraging. There's no actual way you could have done that. And so then you get in the habit of over leveraging, and greed comes in because now you have more money than you should, realistically. And so then you misuse the money. That's how accounts get blown. That's how I blew my first account. I'll tell you that. I'll be completely honest. It wasn't HFX, it was Forex. I had deposited some of my financial aid. So I deposited about $1,000, and I turned $1,000 into like 4,000 in like 5 days. Great, right? That's great. But then I was like, man, I'm the best trader ever. And I just kept jumping in trades. And then I blew that account, and it turned back into 250 where it should have been in the first place. Okay. So money is always going to catch up to where you are. Okay. So with that, 3806, 5 to 6 weeks. We keep going from there. Okay. Now, this is why I say 100% reinvest rate. That's not saying you don't get to touch your 3,300 that you made. It's just saying you touch it at the end of compounding. Reward yourself after you reach a compounding goal, rather than taking something out while you're still trading. You actually would have costed yourself about $1,000. Okay. So instead, I let it sit and compound the full way through. Now, when I hit this amount, let's say I withdraw then. So now I've more than tripled my turnover. I'm allowed to withdraw. I reward myself. I take out that initial 500 plus an extra 300, even it out to $3,000. Okay. Now I made $800 over this course of 6 weeks. That's essentially about the amount of a P600. Okay. Because you would make 600 plus 150. All right. And so now I did that. Now what you want to do is you actually want to lower your interest rate. And here's why. Another tip: the higher of an amount that you have in your trading account, the less of a percentage that you should go for. It's that thing that I said about financial psychology, financial spirituality. Going for too much, trying to make too much, or making too much is not good for you mentally. You should only make as much as you can mentally handle, and it's better to take it slow, because this company, all right, we introduce wealth to people that were not previously open, like, or it didn't have wealth attainable to them. I'll say it like that, not easily attainable. And now we've generated wealth for people. That's great. But if we're jumping through tax brackets, you shouldn't jump through 5 tax brackets in 3 months. First of all, the IRS is going to come for you. All right. They're going to kill you. But second, it's just a psychological thing, like I said. Okay. So if I have 3,000 in my account, if I were to try to go for that 7% again, it would turn from 3K to 22K. Now, in 1 month, okay, I went from making 3,400 to almost 20K. Do you understand how that can stress a person out? You went from, on the first day, making $210 to now making $1,500 in a span of 6 weeks. It's a bit much. It just is. All right. And on top of that, understand, you can write this down, but I'm going to get back to it later. All you need is $10,000 in your trading account to make a full-time living, realistically. Okay, so if let's say I lowered this to 5% a day, it's a little bit better. All right, so $3,000 at 5% a day for the next 6 weeks. Okay, now I have a 5-figure account. So still, in less than 6 months, okay, significantly less than 6 months, actually more like a quarter, all right, so 3 months, you would still turn 500 into 10,000 or 12,000, all right? So at that point, at the end of 3 months, you can still make it to being a full-time trader. Like I said, you only need 10K and you've passed it, okay? So at that point, 3 months in, 4 months in maybe, you can quit your job, you can do all of that. It's fine, all right, from 5%. Now, it started with 150 a day, and by the end, you're making 600 a day. That's great. Like that's completely great. So from here, you can actually withdraw down to 10K. So now you withdraw almost 3,000. So you would still withdraw like triple the amount that you did the month before. That's still good. Okay, that's still good. And from here on, let's say that you only went for 3% a day, you would still double it. You would still make 14K, every month. And let's say you went, okay, well, I'm going to only withdraw $5,000 every month, but I'm going to continue to go for 3% a day. Your account will compound. That's the point of compounding. Okay. So just understand those main takeaways. Those main takeaways is 30 days, not necessarily 30 days. Okay. That's one. Number two, make sure that you are not trying to force yourself to make more than you can mentally handle. Okay? Make sure that you're not trying to turn 500 into 5 million in 6 months. Don't do that. All right? And then the last thing would be, make sure that you withdraw at the end of your goal. Okay? So this is how you this is a 30, 60, 90-day goal, whatever, it's fine. Make sure that you withdraw at the end of the goal. All right? Those are the 3 points. If all that made sense to you, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat for me. 1 in the chat if that made sense. For sure, for sure. All right. Does anyone have a question off of what I just spoke about? If you do, go ahead, unmute and just ask that question. I'll give it a second. All right. No questions? For sure. All right. So that's compounding. All right. Up next, we want to go over risk management. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not a question being typed. All right, for sure. So next is risk management. All right. Risk management is how much you allow yourself to lose. All right. So we just talked about winning in general, which is compounding. All right. So winning in general is compounding. This is losing in general. Okay. And I'll make sure that I'm going to do that. Let me do this to make sure we know, because this is important. Both of these are in general. Okay. So risk management, how much do you allow yourself to lose in general? Now, I'll go over that right here. So let's say that we had that $500 account again. All right. So we're back to that $500. All right. So with a $500 account, in general, no matter what account size you have, my rule of thumb, 4% maximum loss per day, actually. 4% maximum loss a day. Now, the reason why I like to say 4% a day is because if you say 4% a session and you have a bad week, you can, in theory, blow your account if you take a bunch of sessions a day. But if you give yourself 4% a day and you split your risk across sessions and all this other stuff, then it would take you probably like 2 months of trading, maybe less, maybe a month and a half of trading to blow your account. And if you have a bad month and a half and you don't do anything to fix that, there's an issue. And there's no way someone should have a full bad month, considering that we have educators that have monthly profit percentages, okay, monthly accuracy percentages of about 75% or higher. Most of our HFX is 80%. So you should not blow your account in the span of a month and a half, but you can most definitely blow your account in the span of a week, okay? Bad weeks happen all the time in the market. So maximum 4% loss a day. Now, how does this look, right? If I've got $500 in my account, okay, $500 in my account, all you have to do is these steps. Open up a calculator. Okay, little bit of math involved in this, all right? Step 2, you're gonna put 500, okay? Or actually, I'll just put your account size, because maybe I'm using 500 for example. Maybe you have something else. You have your account size divided by, or actually you can actually do times multiplied by 0.04. And then you divide that number by 2. Okay. I like math. I'm a math person. And so I'm just going to put it as, we're going to put Z is your account size. So Z, right, times 0.04 over 2. That's actually the formula if you want to do it, okay? Z times 0.04 divided by 2. So on a $500 account, okay, on a $500 account, what's that going to look like? And I'm going to put in a calculator. All right, 500 times 0.04 divided by 2. Okay, 0.04 of 500 is 20. All right, and so half of that is 10. So I can take one $20 trade, right? Or two $10 trades. That right there is risk management. You do that every single day, okay? Every single day, every time you trade even, and that's how you stop yourself from blowing an account. Now, the hardest part isn't figuring out the math. The hardest part is staying disciplined, okay? The hardest part is when you have a $500 account and you're only down to 480, saying, that's it, I'm done, versus being like, man, I got space to lose 5 more. Man, I got space to lose 10 more. Man, this one looks like a good setup. Let me just take that one more try. Man, I can make it back. Let me just get back to 500. I won't even go for my profit. I'll just go back to 500. Those are things you have to stop yourself from saying. If you can stop yourself from thinking that, and you can just say, look, I am at 480. That's my amount for the day. I'm done. Tomorrow's a new day. Okay. X amount of time is a new session, and I can make it back and continue on. Because the number one thing I like to tell people, there is always going to be another trade until you don't have the money to trade it. And if you blow your account, you won't have the money to trade it. But if the money's there, you can trade. All right. So there's always going to be another trade until you don't have the money to. And then when you don't have the money and there's a perfect setup and then it goes the way you thought, but you couldn't take it because you didn't have the money, you're going to feel a lot worse, a lot worse about taking those trades. Okay. So save yourself that trouble, save yourself that stress from right now. All right. If this made sense, if the risk management portion just made sense to you, go ahead and type a 7 in the chat. Put some 7s. Good luck number. All right. It looks like we've got time that we'll probably be able to maybe catch one trade. Maybe one. All right, for sure. All right. So now the last thing is going to be profit management. All right. Now, like I said, actually, let me type it out first. Profit management is saving, or not even saving, taking care of the amount you made now. Okay. So profit management is taking care of the amount of money that you made right now. Before I jump into profit management, does anyone have any questions on risk management? I want to make sure we're all clear on that. On which broker am I on? I'm on IQCent. I'm currently on IQCent, but I'm looking to change brokers. I'm going to change it to a broker that is not widely known by IM though, because I'm kind of over every time that some educators go live, you can't trade because everyone jumps on and floods the broker and their servers can't handle it. So I'm going to look for a really low key one and see if I can kind of trade off of that. Okay, so there's no questions on risk management. So profit management is taking care of the money you made right now. So notice how I said these are in general, because compound is growing your account in general. And risk management is, how much you allow yourself to lose. So risk management is actually technically a part of compounding. So is profit management. It's all an umbrella, but that's in general. So in general, I'm only gonna let myself lose this much. In general, I let myself win this much. Profit management only comes into play when you're actively trading and you've made your first win. Okay. After you've cleared your first trade. So it's how much you made now. Okay. So if I was going for that $500, 700 or 7% a day, and this first day I'm going for 35, okay? So for me to go for 35, and the most I can trade is 10%, and on average, you look at 70% payout, closer to 72, but let's say 70%. That means each trade will give you $7, okay? So let me put an arrow, other way, like that, boom. All right, so each trade, or each $10, I'll say, each $10 will probably give me about, let's do this, about $7. All right, that's my average. Okay, if this is my average, but I want to make $35, then on my first day, I want to be 5-0. Okay, I want to be 5-0. Why? 7 times 5, 35. That's my profit amount. Okay. One more question. You don't use rollover at all? It's helpful in general. It's not. No, I use rollover. I use rollover. I try to use it as little as possible because I recognize that not every broker has rollover. And so I don't like it if I tell people to roll over and some people can't clear because they can't roll and everyone else does clear. It makes me feel bad. I'm just soft. And so I try to not roll over as often as possible. But yeah, so I want to be 5-0 in order for me to hit 35 profit goal. So, and I'll make sure I put that out. on a $500 account. Um, 7% a day means I want to make $35 on day one. Okay, so on a $500 account, this is my risk management, this is my compound plan, and this is going to be my profit management. All right, so it's actually going to connect to both of these. Okay, so that means I want to be 5-0. I want to be 5-0 for me to hit $35, my 7%. So I clear my first trade. Okay, and this is a strategy that you can use. It's optional. Everyone's different, but essentially, I clear my first plate. I'm gonna clear my first trade. Okay, I'm up $7. Okay, so you have a choice. Okay, so what you can do is you can do option one, continue to trade $10. Okay, or option two is on my second one, trade only what I just won. Okay, so $500 account, clear my first trade. You can either continue to trade that 10, which is going to be, right, 2% of 500, or you can trade what you just won, which is actually going to be now a little bit less than 2%. But what you can do with that, and the reason why I like to do this is because now, if I go 1-1, I'm not down on the day, I'm back to break even. That will save you a lot of headache when it comes to compounding. Because then if I'm 1-1 and I did 10-10, and now I'm down $3, right? Now I'm down like less than a percentage, but I'm still like, I'm not quite on my compound plan anymore. And that's how some people every 3 days need to redo their compound account because their numbers are all out of whack. All right. And here's a big thing. Traders, HFX traders, I'll say HFX traders will win probably 80% of the first session trade. Okay. More often than not, you will win the first trade of the day. Okay. And so most people will at least be 1-0. More often than not, will at least be 1-0. Off of my sessions, I can even say, I think maybe about 87% in terms of first session trades. We've been like 87% accurate. Okay. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. And since it does, you need to take it into consideration. Okay. So with that, if I'm 1-0 and I'm up $7 and I trade that 10, now I'm down. But if I only trade what I just won and then I lose that second trade, I'm back to break even. Now you have a choice. Do I continue to trade or do I stop? Here's why. Sometimes the market is just not good. How many times have I cut a session short even though we won the first trade? Okay. Maybe I'll cut a session short because I don't like how the markets look. You'll hear me say that a lot. I'm not a fan of the market right now. And there's nothing wrong with that because you're just protecting your money. You only want to take the trades that you're confident in. And so if you don't like how the market looks and you're not confident in the market itself, how can you be confident in a specific trade? It's not going to work, right? That's why I'm not too fond on jumping in on something right now. Even the market was super messy right here. I said, I wanted to stabilize first. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Oh, goodness. I done messed up now. Where's the writing? Oh, my goodness. Let me do this. I shouldn't have done that. There we go. It's fine. We're like here, right? All right. Cool. We're good. So, this is all in terms of protecting your entries, protecting, just protecting your wallets. So what you can do is, let's say that you trade. Now this might get confusing. If you weren't writing anything down before, definitely write down for profit management, because people don't think about it, but it's very important. If I take first trade is 10, second trade is 7, okay, and you win, okay, your third trade can be 17, okay? Understand that. Your third trade can be 17. Now, when you do that, essentially what you're doing is you're combining now your first trade and your profit. Someone who talks about this really well is DL. DL Woods talks about this really, really well. Is basically whatever you profit, you continue to trade. Now, if you do that, and I'll write that down, whatever you profit, you continue to trade. Okay. Now, when you do that, you need to be more accurate. Okay. You really want to be accurate. The risk in this, and this is specifically if you're doing whatever you profit, you continue to trade. If you lose one trade, you get knocked back down. Okay. So you can do this if you're trying to go 3-0, 4-0, which I feel 3-0, 4-0 is not the hardest thing to do. But if you're trying to take 10 trades in a session, this might not be the move for you. Now, of course, if you do 10 trades in a session and you do this and you can go 10-0, you can actually turn 500 into probably a lot. Okay. DL has a spreadsheet of it, so you can check his session for it. I don't have that spreadsheet, but just know it can turn into a lot. All right. I think I'm running out of space. Oh man. It's all good. So that's one route to take it. And then the second trade, or the second option, would be first trade is 10. Second trade is 7. And then third trade is essentially back to 10. Okay, so you're back to your proper risk management. In doing this, all you did was stopped the possibility of being down any percentage. That's what you're doing with this strategy, okay? You stopped your possibility of being down any percentage for the day. Because the second that you're 0 and 2, you walk away. I talk about that consistently. Doesn't matter if you're 10-0 and then your next 2 trades, you're 0 and 2, you're done, you're 10 and 2. Okay, so these are your other options. And then your third option would be that you can combine all of your percentage. I don't recommend that, because then if you lose, then you're just down 4%. So these are the different strategies that you can use. Now, all this does is just stop you from being 1-1 and being down on the day. Okay, both of these. As long as your second trade is your initial profit, you won't be down 1-1. And it just gives you an extra bit of space to make a decision on the market in that moment. Okay. If that makes sense, type a 1 in the chat. If it doesn't, please ask a question, because I want to make sure that everyone understands it. All right. So if profit management makes sense, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat for me. For sure. For sure. All right. It's making sense for some of y'all. Apparently not everyone, but it's cool. So the second trade would be $7 from the risk plus potential profit. So the second trade is specifically profit. So if my first trade was $10 because that's 2%, and my profit was 7 because it's 70% payout, then that second trade is just that payout. So that if I'm 1 and 1, I'm back to break even rather than being 1 and 1 is down for the day. Because you'll see a lot of people being like, oh, I was 1 and 1 today, and you're down. You're actually down. So this is saying I was 1 and 1 today, but I'm not down at all. It's just a boom, clean slate. All right, for sure. So everyone gets that. Looks like everyone's getting it. So that's really it for profit management. All right. So I just want to go back to this. It's all messed up now. But, compounding is in general. Okay. So is risk management. All these are in general. Now, profit management is right now. It's every single session. It's a different mindset for profit management. That number is going to change every single session because the amount that I can trade changes every single session, right? And so when you combine the three of these things, it's just the best protection for your account. It's how you make sure that you keep the money that you're risking and the money that you're making. Okay, keep as much of it as possible for as long as possible. Now you can still have down days. If you start 0 and 1, you can finish 0 and 2 and be done. Or if you go 0 and 1 and then you go 1 and 1, that's a whole other different thing. This is just saying you go 1 and 0 because 80% of the time you're gonna go 1 and 0. All right. Now I'm gonna jump in and see if we can maybe catch a trade, just so that we can kind of put it to work. I would like to put it to work right now. I'd like to have us just go solid 2 and 0 and let you make the decision on kind of what you want to do with that 1 and 0. This is falling off to right here. Yep, we missed it by a second. It came right there. And it's doing it right at the top of the hour. Euro USD, it's an all right zone. I just like this push up right here. Look how this came up to that range. I think it looks like it wants to respect it. Look how it just whipped up like perfectly, but I think it's gone without us. This is really out. Yeah, this is gone. I wish we saw this like 10 seconds earlier. Let me log in again. It logged me out. I don't want to miss it. All right. Hang on 1 second. Just making sure I'm logged in good. All right. Make sure I put my risking amount. Make sure you put it on 3 minutes for the trading time, and make sure that you've got 2% for your amount. If you want to do 40, that's up to you, but I would recommend that that 2 and 2 to allow yourself 0 and 2. All right. And we got 27 seconds, 26. If we can make it back down that 280, even 290 area, let's go ahead and take Euro USD to the upside. I think this is going to be crossed down. Yep. And that just came right down to the band. That's crazy. Crazy. Okay. I don't think it's going to give it to us. See if we can catch anything else. No, nothing's necessarily in a zone that I'm liking. GBP CAD would have been the only thing that's like, okay, I would have taken that up, but we missed that. I think GBP is just going up. Let's see. AJ spikes. Oh, you could trade spikes if you want. I don't do spikes like that. I'm not big on it. Yeah, this one, see, I knew I didn't want to take that for reversal. That didn't look right. Let's see. I'm hoping we could find something, but looks like we're not going to catch the top of the hour one. GBP CAD, if it pushes back up from this into this area, I would be willing to take this down. It's going a little fast though. It's pushing up a little fast for my liking. I'm not sure. But we're definitely in a trend. And let me open up my strength meter just for double checking. CAD is still the strongest, it looks like. So CAD is still the strongest. So GBP CAD, maybe we would take this at 720 area, down for 3 minutes. Yeah, I'm looking at that. All right. Let me see. This is just a ways off. This, we missed it by literally a few seconds, that Euro USD one. Unlucky. It hasn't even moved now. EU just went up there and it's just sitting there now. Taking that to the downside or to the upside, I mean, that would have been nice. It's all good. UJ's coming around an area, EuroCAD, it's close as well. EJ, it is far off. GJ, GBP CAD is looking like, let's open up GBP CAD in case we get there. I like that it slowed down. Like it's perfect 70% for me too. So that's like even better. Use Chef. All right, hang on 1 second. The broker is very different on GBP CAD than what it shows on TradingView. 703 off the broker, 677 off TradingView. Wow. Well then, let's see. I don't really trade USD Chef like that. Let's see. You're right though. It is. I mean, I think you're looking at this, right? It is at that range. That's a good call for sure. Let's see. Let me see what the dollar is doing though. The dollar moving down. See, that's the only thing that concerns me. The dollar is all over the place, and the dollar's been really unreliable. But this is to take it. This is to take it to the downside, and I prefer to take it down than to take it up. But we still have space to go. AU. Oh, y'all look at different pairs than I do. AU. If you're looking right here, this is interesting. Rather than put a line, I would actually put a range right here. Maybe even this, which is kind of a large range, but that's the range I would potentially see. It's having a reaction from this previous point though. You see how it's struggling to get past it? That's not a bad thing though. That's showing that there's support forming. So potentially right here. USD Chef is just doing its thing. it's just big chilling. Still trying to cross up a little now. My fast RSI is basically crossed. Okay, it's saying that the strategy is forming. So let's see. UChef, let me see, UCAD, UJ. Let me see something. UCAD is right on a ban. UJ rejecting off of a ban. GU. Well, GBP is just a little off right now. It's just a little off. GBP CAD didn't quite reach 720, and it's fallen off. Looks like it's giving a little bit of it's giving some lack of volume right now. There's not a lot of volume coming into the market. Everyone's on lunch in the, oh, actually, well, that's what it is. This is the US session and there's a holiday. So that's just kind of killing the volume that you usually will catch. Someone said AUD USD. AU hasn't hit it. USD Chef. UChef is starting bearish. Yeah, we can, I mean, UChef would definitely be, out of all these, my favorite so far, and it's got a lot of like indication. It would be perfect if like this could even come up to this previous wick, like that 0.32 area. Looks like UChef is not a pair that has much movement maybe, but it's fine. All right, UChef's got 73%, that's fine. My broker's weird. It's showing 0.36 versus 0.20. My numbers are off for the broker. IQ Cent is being a little bit strange. I'm gonna give this a few more minutes and see if we can get it to push up a little bit more. I wanna see it at 0.35, which I guess is gonna be 0.40s for my broker because it's already showing 0.36. So I'm 1 pip off. See if it can give that. I'm not sure it will. And it also looks like there's not a lot of volume unless it's top of the hour. Top of the hour didn't give me much anyways. 25. I'm not sure it's actually going to give this. It may not actually give us a trade. Nothing is really set up. I'm not going to force a trade. I feel like UChef, it's not moving enough for my liking. It's really just stalling. So I'm not liking it too much. GBP CAD would be the only one that's all right, but still also not moving too much. Maybe we just won't jump in. Would you be able to explain a strategy? I don't have time to explain the strategy at the moment. I've got a video up on my YouTube. I'll put it into the chat after this. This video is also going to go up. So any of my trainings are going to be up to be seen. So you can definitely watch that at any time. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of anything on the market right now. And I'm not going to force us into a trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just call it from now. But we'll make up for it. Like I said, I was going to make that extra trading session. It won't be for today, though. It won't be for today, but it'll be for later this week. Maybe Thursday. I'm not sure yet. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. It should be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yep, for a trading session. So tomorrow morning we will be trading. All right. Everybody have a good night, good day, wherever you are. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll post this video. It'll be up by tonight.